Hello world and welcome back to Addy and Abby's Great Vlogging Adventures. I'm Addy.
And I'm Abby. Well, it's good to see everyone. So we're here to kind of share the favorite books we've read this year in 2025. I gotta say, I found us a couple great ones.
She did.
You know, that's one of my talents.
Yeah. Last year we talked about what books we wanted to read next year. Are we doing that?
No, just like FYI, we didn't read Diddley out of that list. We didn't read Squat. I haven't touched, what was it, like Crime and Punishment all year. You think I'm touching Crime and Punishment? Hell no.
I remember saying I was gonna read I was gonna read, what's that book? Oh, Life in the Time of Cholera. Didn't read that. Mm-hmm. I was gonna finish People's History of the United States. Mm-hmm. Didn't read that. I read a little bit, but I definitely did not finish it.
Love in the Time of Cholera wasn't my favorite.
And then I was gonna read, what's the one you don't like?
Which one? Sorry?
The one with the posh-looking man on the cover.
Oh, The Picture of Dorian Gray?
Yeah, I was gonna read that. That didn't happen. But it's okay, guys, because we are here with some really fabulous reads today.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, at least for me, I feel like this year I kind of started... I've been reaching out and reading a lot of different genres, which is something I'm really proud of. I mean, like, quite frankly, I started reading a lot of poetry just because it was a bit of a shorter read. But honestly, like, I've been getting really into it, and I'm really glad I started. Okay, so the first book I read was Calling a Wolf a Wolf by Kaveh Akbar. Big fan of this guy, if you don't know. So... honestly, yeah, this was one of the first books I read in the year, and I actually came to this specific collection, Calling a Wolf, because the first poem, which is honestly still one of my favorites from this collection, is called, where is it? Wild Pear Tree, and it's a poem where John Green quotes this line a lot in his videos. It's been January for months in both directions, and I've just really resonated with that line whenever he said it, and I thought John Green wrote that until I found this, and I was like, oh, John Green did not write that line.
And as all you viewers know, Abby does like John Green.
Really?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Big into John, you know? Cool guy. Anyways, so his endorsement led me to this poetry collection. Also, another one of my favorite poems in this is, I can't find it now, but there's this line, it's called Ways to Harm a Thing, and there's this line that says, all my friends are too modern to be caught grieving, and I just really loved that line. Not you. You're not too modern to be caught grieving, by the way.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I will say, just if you do intend to read this is a heavier collection. It follows the poet's journey through alcoholism and recovery afterwards. And although there are some heavier poems, I'd say the style is just so straightforward that even if you did, like, I personally hated the poetry unit in English, I really enjoyed this. Like, this style of poetry is for people who hate the poetry unit in English. So, that's all I'll say. God, I just yap on and on.
Are we gonna alternate?
Yeah, I think we should cut.
No, let's not cut. Let's show our viewers the in-between of our lives.
Man, if I had to see the in-between of all my three YouTubers' lives. Okay, I guess we're doing the in-between. Are you sure? I really think we should cut.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with a little short story collection I read this year called Yokohama, California. I don't remember the author, but the cover will be here. I hope you like that. So I found Yokohama, California in City Lights in San Francisco, and to be honest, I hadn't heard of it before, but the cover really just caught my eye. It was sort of exceptionally beautiful, as you will have seen here. But one story that really resonated with me was this man who everyone thought was a little strange. But he just really loved to talk. And one day, I don't totally remember, but he had rented a big hall because he was telling everyone this big famous philosopher was going to show up in little Yokohama, or
Little town.
Well, it took place in San Francisco. All these short stories took place in San Francisco, which I really liked, proximity wise. But then the philosopher ends up not showing up, so he talks for 3 hours straight to a crowd of 11 people, including 2 babies. And the whole thing was that, I actually have one of my favorite quotes written down in my diary, was that, like, no one was too good to, like, this is cut down a lot, but I said his voice, his gestures, his sadness, his patheticness, his bravery, which are of common lot and something the people could understand, sympathize, and remember for a while. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was wonderful that really anyone could say a lovely thing, and it didn't matter who they were. Everyone could, say something really wonderful. And I think that's really beautiful. There are some other really good ones in the collection, but oh yeah, there's one I liked about this guy going to the city to find some purpose. And to be honest, it kind of reminded me of me and Abby.
Yeah.
Great book. I would totally recommend it. Some were not my favorite, but I really liked it because it was in San Francisco and it talked about like the Asian experience around when my papa and her sisters would have been growing up. So like the 1940s-ish. And while they were Chinese, I'm guessing it was similar in a sense. Right.
Do you want me to close the window?
No, it's okay.
Okay. I'm getting a bit of a draft. All right. I guess I'll pick up the wagon if we're doing no cuts. Honestly, well, a little bit of a preface. Before this year, I've always had like kind of a bad experience with classics, I say. To be honest, I haven't read classics very widely, right? I mean, we mentioned Dorian Gray. I read that in middle school. Did not like that at all. I think if I reread it now, still would not like it at all. Love in the Time of Cholera, I did read this year. I was disappointed by. Like, my favorite classics before reading this book was like Catcher in the Rye, which I feel like is just so relevant, like today, that I don't think that really counts, quote unquote.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because it's an easy to read for me, and to me, I classify classics as something that's a bit difficult to get through, but has so much value. Maybe it's a little older that. Yeah. Anyways, so this book was so easy to read, despite being like 600 pages, and that is East of Eden by John Steinbeck, which, yeah. And quite frankly, I adored this book. Reading it was such a joy, and it really did feel like it kind of feels like an era in your life when you're reading it, as corny as that is, just because it's so long. We follow 2 families, first in Connecticut, and then we move over to Salinas, which I liked because of the proximity. And it talks about how they replicate the stories of Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve over and over again. This book had some really great moments. I think chapter 3 specifically really blew me away. And I'd say even though there's not many like moments where you like stop and stare, maybe like Addy in like Yokohama, California, the characters are just so enjoyable to like learn about. My goats, Sam Hamilton and Liza Hamilton. That it goes so fast. And I've heard people glazing this book and they say, oh, this book contains everything you need to know about life. And while I wouldn't go that far, I think there were some really valuable lessons in this book and some really wonderful moments of humanity. And I would encourage everyone to read it. It's so readable. And this is by far my favorite classic now. And I feel like that's good taste. I feel proud of that.
Very nice, Abby.
Yeah.
I mean, while in the realm of classics, I feel like I've had a really I feel like I've had a little revelation this year. There are genres in classics. Like, I don't need to be reading, like, whatever, which book. And I think I've found a lot of success in that. And I feel like this is the advice I've been giving a ton of people who've been wanting to get into classics. Just because something's a classic doesn't mean, like, classic is not a genre.
Don't read Picture of Dorian Gray. Don't do it. I was fooled.
This makes me mad. Okay, so, but I was, on a little venture to read more this year, classic-wise. Because I think that, besides my little rant, that's still helpful. So, I was, looking for an author. What did I like? Well, I'm basic. I loved The Great Gatsby, which brought me to This Side of Paradise. You're welcome. So This Side of Paradise follows this young adult, Amory Blaine, through it follows like him in this era between World War I and World War II, which is apparently like a lost generation. Anyways, yeah, I have to preface, I haven't finished it. However, what I've read so far has been incredibly enjoyable. I think what Abby said about, struggling, like having a difficult time reading a classic, I don't know if that's a guideline I would place on it. Like, reading a classic. This Side of Paradise is not hard to read. Neither was Great Gatsby, though, so that doesn't surprise me. Anyways, Amory is a jerk, but he is so funny.
Well, to preface, we might like Amory because we're also kind of jerks.
But it's okay. Well, no, it's not okay to be a jerk.
I'm okay with it.
But Amory is so funny. And maybe he's going to do something in the book that would make me really regret saying this now. So if he does, please don't dox me or anything. But yeah, I'm getting some real hoots out of his lines. He's very self-centered. And while I hope I am not that self-centered, sometimes I gotta say, I kind of get him.
Shucks.
But I'm not self-centered, I think.
No, you're not. I wouldn't say that.
Okay, cool. Anyways, yeah, I would use that strap. Read more of your favorite author. That's why in our book club, we are reading Villette by Charlotte Bronte. And if anyone knows me, Jane Eyre is my favorite book. I like Villette so far.
10 pages? 20 pages?
No, I've read a little bit more.
Oh, I should read more. I liked the first chapter. Well, should we move on to our...
I think so.
Well, alright. So, I actually found all of these. I'm still proud of that. But Addy really helped me enjoy reading these books a lot. It's great to read books you love with someone you really care about. That's great.
Yeah.
I think, and I feel like this first book, was,
Oh, you're already moving on. Are you finished with your individual ones?
Yeah, I only had 2.
No, you had 5. Wait. Okay. So the last book I'm going to talk about, sorry you have to hear me talk about 2 in a row. I personally wouldn't want to hear myself talk that long, but...
we like to hear you talk. Don't worry about it.
Hopefully you viewers can relate.
Well, they're watching this video of their own accord.
Delish. That was gross. I'm sorry. I'll put a sound effect over that. Okay. So the last book I loved this year was due to my own AP Lit teacher. Thank you, Mr. Mogi. Shout out, Mr. Mogi. And that would be Remains of the Day. Remains of the Day follows a butler called Stevens as he travels through the English countryside on a break from his butler duties. And he's also going to find his lost love, Miss Kenton. Well, she's not lost. She got married to someone else. I guess she is lost to him.
Yeah.
Anyways, here it is. Yeah, unlike many of my classmates actually really liked this book. I thought its conversation about dignity was really special.
Yeah.
Okay. My class did not like Stevens. And while I understand not liking Stevens, I think he's the clearest representation of OCD in a book I've ever read. Like, to be honest, I clocked him right away. Like, I was like, oh,
One of our
I
own.
know what you are. Better than the people, better than characters who have OCD. This was better representation for me than like Charlie Spring and Heartstopper. I was like, I can't think of any other characters that have OCD.
Me either, to be honest.
Not established OCD.
No.
Except for that girl in John Green's book.
Turtles All the Way Down, I think?
Yeah.
I haven't read that one, to be honest.
Me neither. I just know the movie came out. Anyways, yeah, I thought it was a really beautiful book. And I really like the discussions I had with Abby about it. I can't say the same about my class. But that's okay. Because, you know, we all enjoy classes differently.
Right, but I think where some people were going wrong in our English classes is that they were just really refusing to see the nuance in the book.
Yeah.
I really think this was, like Addy said, this was a special book. It had a great conversation in a way that was complex but still approachable, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed Stephen's narration. I enjoyed his unreliable kind of narration, right?
I did too. Can I admit something? I don't know why we have to go through unreliable narration all the time. Isn't like the majority of narration unreliable? Unless you find like someone completely, well, like third person, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean even like Percy Jackson is an unreliable narrator. They're all unreliable.
Yes, every single first person character, like narration's unreliable.
I know.
Because everyone has by it. Well, it doesn't matter. Like, why do we cover this all the time? Shouldn't this just be, like, known?
Sorry, like when everyone's like, oh, Richard Payton from The Secret History is just such a clear and astounding example of an unreliable narrator. Okay, I know Percy Jackson was brushing some stuff over, but I digress. Great book.
Okay, now we are going to get into the books we both read this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we found some really great ones, quite honestly, and I really enjoyed, like, our 2-person plus the rest of your family book club.
Do you want to start with
Yeah, sure. So, sorry to cut you off. So the first book we kind of found together has, quite honestly, it's been a real favorite of mine since, like, 7th grade. I always thought it's such a fantastic book. It covers like immigrant families, it covers incarceration, it covers like discovering your gay identity. It talks about like a lot of things, and what has really stood out most profoundly to me about this book is the discussion it has about our relationships with our parents, and especially when those relationships are especially strained. And that book is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe.
And then I would say for me, I didn't think it was a better book, but I got more connection in the second book, which is, I don't remember the title, but it's something about them diving into the waters of the world. We'll put it here.
Yeah. Well, you want to start with that? I
guess we should start. You should start with the first one.
Right. So in the first book, we follow Aristotle, and this is a teenage boy, I believe he's like 15, as he kind of struggles to connect with both his family and more generally the people around him in the wake of his brother's incarceration, which happened when he was very young. And this is a great book about him. Sorry, I digress. So essentially, Ari strikes up a friendship with this boy, Dante, at the local pool, and throughout the book, their relationship deepens from friendship to romance and everything in between. And it's a really touching book. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It covers so many things, and what I like about this book for me is that it's a queer story with everything that kind of comes along with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get like don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed seeing the romance between Ari and Dante, and I still think it's incredibly touching. But it was just so refreshing to see the rest of Ari's life along with that, like his family, his friends, even like him at his job. It was so nice to kind of see him, like a gay character, just kind of be right. He's out and about, right? He's going through his life, and it was just so refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought this book should have been taught in schools instead of sadly the 57 bus.
Yeah.
Which I
But that's not universally. I think that's just our district.
Right, it's just our district because it's local. And don't get me wrong, I totally understand why that book was in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this book just does such a good job, and I just love this book. I mean, I've always felt like Dante so accurately captures the immigrant experience I've had, and I don't know, it's such a great book.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I loved the first book, but I think what really connected with me for the second one was the fact that they were already in the relationship. I felt like it explored the intimacy of a queer relationship really well. Mm-hmm. I think there's like a very certain type of intimacy that really can't be captured in a heterosexual relationship. I think the secrecy, the idea of like having to let your friends know and worrying that they won't support you. I found that all very touching. There's one scene where Ari encourages this boy, I don't remember his name, to tell his friends he's gay because in hopes that like they'll still care about him afterwards, and they do. And I thought it was just so beautiful because it really, I think it paints the uncertainty of gayness really well. Mm-hmm. And I think the intimacy of being a secret.
I really liked the ending.
Yeah. And the end was so beautiful.
The ending really sweeps you away. I mean, I'll personally say the first book resonated more with me, but I think the reason Addy resonates with the second book, absolutely true. It's still a fantastic read.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's just like our different life experiences that cause us to resonate with these differently. I do think the first book has better writing.
Yeah, I think the second book really, it's just so enjoyable to read. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll say. Yeah, I think there's something in this kind of duology for everyone. Like I said, like based on your different life experiences, you might resonate more with the first book, maybe the second book. And I think either way, at the end of reading these, you feel seen no matter what.
Yeah, you really do. It sort of reminds you of like yes, perhaps the sadness that comes along with being queer, but also, the perhaps understated joy in a way. I mean, there's like the very, understated joy.
Right. I think that's a beautiful statement.
Thanks, Abby. You always hype me up.
Oh, yeah. You gotta keep your friend's confidence up. I think the next book we'll get to maybe wasn't as, I guess, poignant. I don't know. I don't think that's the right word.
Really? I found a lot in this book.
I also found a lot in this book, but I will say it gives me a different feeling than Ari and Dante, but
Agreed.
I have an equal feeling of being seen, and that is Schoolgirl by Osamu Dazai.
I would say the feeling is different from Ari and Dante because Ari and Dante, I wouldn't say hinges on more dramatic moments, but this is really just taking you through her mundane. Like, she goes to school. Yeah, wait, let me summarize the book. So it just takes you through the day of a Japanese high school girl in post-war Japan, right? Yeah.
End of war, if not post-war.
It is post-war.
Oh, sorry, post-war Japan.
Yeah, but she goes to school, and then they have people over for dinner, and it just takes you through her like train of thought, and as a fellow teenage girl, She was very dramatic, but you know, me too. So I got her.
Yeah, I think the way her emotions are so fickle, and it's such a roller coaster. You would think you would be annoyed, but no, this girl is hilarious in my opinion. And what's funny about it is like in the foreword, a great foreword by the way. Let me just say, there's a preface.
Oh.
Well, first I gotta say, this is the most excellent translation of a book I've ever read. So really like a huge kudos to whoever translated this. It was just fantastic. Yeah, it wasn't awkward like other translations I've read. Just perfect. Forward. The forward is funny to me because when you read the forward, it says that Schoolgirl is meant to be like kind of a metaphor for Japan after the war and how, as a nation, they really struggled with their identity and just simply like existing in the wake of the war. And if you read, like, you're not supposed to read the book at face value. You're not supposed to find this like, oh, a hilarious teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I still did, and I still thought it was hilarious. And so if you do end up reading the book at face value, I think that's totally okay. Do you want to recount some of our favorite moments? Or
Yeah. Well, personally, one part that really stood out to me is when she's doing the laundry. And she's scrubbing it, and she's looking at the moon, and she thinks about how somewhere else in the world there's another sad and pitiful girl that's doing the laundry and looking at the moon and perhaps also hates her mother. And I don't know, that really just stood out to me. Like, I don't know, like it's gonna sound cheesy, but the human experience is similar in, like, around the world.
across time, even.
Yeah, across time.
Oh. This is truly a book, I'd say, for any girl.
I agree.
Right.
Right, like, she's in post-war Japan, and I still really relate to her.
Yeah.
She's just another teenage girl.
Yeah, like when she has dinner guests over and she feels really proud of making this like stir-fry dish, and she's like, it's called rococo. It's like modern art because of all the different colors. And then she takes the dish to her guests and she realizes that's stupid, and she tells them this was really a last ditch effort. Like, I just threw everything into a pan. And I think that like really sums up why a modern girl should read this. Like, we've all thrown things into a pan and called it a great meal. I've sent Addy a bunch of pictures of stuff I've thrown into a pan.
In some way or other. Doesn't even have to be cooking. You can think of that as a little metaphor. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna flip to my favorite part of the book. And it's just like a part that really stood out to me is like she does a little show for her mother to cheer her up. She's like miming, playing the ukulele, and her mom takes her completely seriously. She's like, oh my god, my daughter wants me to show me something. She's learned the ukulele, and she treats her essentially like a child. And the rest of this book is just her wanting to be taken care of. She wants to be seen. I'd say she wants to, yes, like feel like the center of someone's attention, like maybe a child would. But in this moment, she just wants to, like, I guess, look someone in the eye, like communicate directly. And at risk of being too personal, I really like related to this relationship with her mother like no other book I've ever seen. And yeah.
Speaking of relationships with mothers,
oh boy.
I think that leads us to an excellent transition into our next book,
which is the true story of Raja the Gullible and his mother.
Yeah, that was cringe. I don't know why we did that.
It's okay. They need to see everything. Yeah. I found this book, strangely enough, on an NPR shortlist for the best books of the year.
Look whose little quotes in here. It's John Green.
Oh, whenever I see a John Green...
Typical.
No, whenever I see a John Green quote, like, on the cover of the book, it's getting bought right away. I bought Martyr because of that. And you know what? John never misses. Gotta say. Yeah, and I guess I'll jump into a summary of this book. Mm-hmm. So we follow a philosophy teacher named Raja, who lives in Beirut, Lebanon, and we essentially see snippets of his life with his mother. Oh, it's dinner time.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Hello, world, and we are back. Better than ever from dinner.
Yes.
Thank you, Abby's mom.
Yes, we will pick up summarizing this book. So, this is my favorite book I found in like years. So this book is called The True Story of Roger the Gullible and His Mother. And we follow a high school philosophy teacher who lives in Beirut, Lebanon, throughout the 3 disastrous events in his life, essentially, that befall him and the country of Lebanon as a whole. And interspersed throughout these events, we kind of navigate his relationship with his roommate and mother, Zalfa. And this is a really funny book. It's funny. It's incredibly poignant. It's very moving, and it gives me the exact same feeling as reading. Well, a similar feeling to reading The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green, which, if you know me, that is like astounding praise.
Yes, it is.
That is genuinely astounding praise.
Where is my favorite part?
Oh, I'm sure it's I think.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Wait, it's probably at the funny.
Did you? Oh, you bookmarked it.
At the funny.
No, that's not it.
Man.
Okay, keep talking.
Okay.
I'll find it.
So. Okay, there's moments in this book that absolutely crack me up, and
I'm going to share our favorite.
Oh my god,
this is my favorite. Is it your favorite?
It's one of mine for sure.
So this happens when the mother is about to move to Dubai with his brother, who he hates, and he wants the family table, which is, an heirloom.
But he lives in a very small apartment.
So the mother says, "You're such an ungrateful son. The table's gonna ruin this place, and you're gonna break your neck trying to maneuver your pudgy ass around it every time you walk from the sofa to the kitchen. You're so stupid. You want the table? You can have it. I can't wait to visit from my comfortable home in Dubai and watch your bounteous behind stuck in one of these corners. Help me, I can't move. My mother was right. I shouldn't have brought this humongous table into my tiny apartment, but I was stupid and obstinate. You'll have to butter the walls so your ass can slide across. Stupid you. I'm immigrating to Dubai, and you're going to miss me so much that you're going to be crying like a stupid baby for months. You should go back to wearing mascara so you can email me photos of you looking like a sad clown with dark streaks on your cheeks."
Poetry, man.
I'm usually not the type to laugh out loud at a book. And when Abby said this book is hilarious, I was like, okay, so it'll get like a little nose exhale from me or something. No, I sat up in bed, it was like midnight, and I started like cackling. Like, this was so funny.
No, like, this book is genuinely really funny. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I think to sum it up, show the author photo in the back.
I don't want to lose another coat.
Look at this, dude. Okay, what I hate... Okay, I love good modern fiction, but I think a lot of the books that end up on these, like, short fiction lists, like, they're kind of, sorry to be kind of crass, but they're really up their ass. Like, they think you can tell when they're writing the book, they're trying to write, like, a telling masterpiece of the modern time. No, this book does exactly that, and it's not up itself. Like, look at the author, bro. He wrote this for, like, the love of the game. And I think what really, like, moves me is...
And it comes across.
Oh, it absolutely comes across. Like, what really struck me is, before reading this book, I personally, I didn't know much about Lebanon, like, the country itself, right? Like, this book was kind of my introduction. I mean, despite everything you read in this book, you want to go there after reading it. At least I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say the same, man.
Okay, but
Nothing against Lebanon.
No. But, okay, that's completely valid. I think, like, reading this book, the author's love for both the people of Lebanon and in the country itself. And like it's genuinely just so telling and so moving. I think this book absolutely deserved the fiction prize for the year.
Agreed.
There are some parts where you read this book that you just kind of like you have to really stop and sit. Like I think I'll talk about, well, there's this one really striking chapter, and there's this one, the ending. The ending absolutely killed me. It was, I mean, I'll say it again. It's the same feeling I got when I read The Anthropocene Reviewed. It's so incredibly earnest. I'm really not doing it justice, but
it feels like the best of being human.
Yes, that's fantastic. It is truly, the ending was truly the best of being human.
Yeah. I just love when things are like that. Do you want to read our other favorite quote?
I like when you read quotes better.
Okay, I'll read it. What is this right after? I forget.
I don't know. Oh, it's when he sits down after the explosion.
Okay.
The 2020.
Yeah. I was 20 years old in 1980 when the Panamanian boxer cried no mas, and the fans and media were so offended at his quitting the fight. I knew nothing about boxing, then or now, but I remember thinking at the time that if someone was raining blows on me, I too would want the world to stop rotating and give me some time to catch my breath. 40 years later, on the hood of a Mercedes weighed down by a chunk of concrete on its roof, I was whispering no mas, no mas, no mas.
I mean, wow, right? Like, that is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You really just sit here and...
I mean, it's a difficult read, and I don't mean that. I mean that content-wise. It's like several times I had to put the book down because it's just so much to take in at once. But I'm really glad I read this. I walked away from this, and yeah, I was really moved by it.
Yeah, it is really a book that will stick with you, and I think it is. I mean, it's truly a worthwhile read. I won't touch on some of the heavier topics on this book, but one thing that really struck me yet again is I think his relationship with his family, especially if you are in, like, I'd say, an immigrant family, I really felt seen. Like, sorry, this book is representation for any sibling haters. Sadly, sorry. And I think, I mean, there's some quotes in here that, I think there's this one quote. His aunt was like, what I love most about you is that you are family down to the marrow. No matter what we do with you, you will always be one of us. And it is so telling in every one of your actions. And that quote has really stuck with me. There's also my other favorite quote in the beginning. And it's about the butterflies and the moth or whatever. I think it's the purple. I'm not sure. No, the purple is the very beginning. Anyways, it talks about how even years after his family left the countryside of Lebanon and went to live in the capital city, Beirut, they are still peasants no matter what. It is something that stays within them throughout each generation and every one of their actions.
Here it is. Right,
okay. Here it is. What I had always found incredible was that if you trained a caterpillar to do a certain thing, then the butterfly would remember how to do that thing, even though the caterpillar's brain and nervous system had dissolved and gone through a soup process. So, when my mother's family tumbled into Beirut, leaving their ancestral village behind, they may have lived city lives, may have worked at city jobs, but even after that miraculous transformation, they remained peasants, and I, an heir to all their genes, to all the soup that is. Wow, that is my favorite quote in the whole book. Truly, I don't know. I think for me, I'd say, as someone who comes from a very long line of peasants, it is really something that sticks with you.
Hey, fun fact, we're from the same part of China.
Yeah, but...
Well, our families.
Yeah, but we literally just stopped being rice farmers with
yeah.
me.
Personally, my family, we fished.
Oh, you're personally. We're too good for rice farming.
But now,
we fished.
but now we just live in the Bay Area.
Right, we live in Fremont, California.
We're very privileged.
Yeah, we live great lives.
We do.
We get to read stuff like True Story about the Gullible.
And with that, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, thanks for a great YouTube year.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been a year.
I know.
Wow.
I really like having this channel. We're hoping to post more next year.
Right.
Once we're away at college.
College.
Expect a college acceptances / rejections / deferrals and waitlists soon. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.